10 worst towns to live in Sao Paulo. Now, before you click away thinking this is just another negative video, stick around because understanding these challenges can actually help you make better decisions about where to live, work, or even invest. We've done the research, crunched the numbers, and talked to locals to bring you the real story. Number 10, Broken Hill. Welcome to the far west of Sao Paulo, where the isolation hits you harder than the scorching summer heat. Broken Hill might have historical charm, but living here comes with challenges most people never consider. Picture this. You're 500 kilometers from the nearest major city, Adelaide, and even further from Sydney. When your car breaks down or you need specialized medical care, that distance becomes your worst nightmare. The town's population has been steadily declining for decades, dropping from over 30,000 in the 1980s to barely 18,000 today. But here's what really makes life difficult. The job market is incredibly limited. With the mining industry struggling and tourism being seasonal at best, finding stable employment is like searching for water in the outback. Young people are leaving in droves, creating an aging population that puts even more strain on already limited services. The cost of living might seem reasonable at first glance, but factor in the expense of traveling anywhere for shopping, entertainment, or services, and suddenly those savings disappear. Internet connectivity is patchy, making remote work challenging, and the extreme weather conditions, scorching summers and surprisingly cold winters, test your resilience daily. What's particularly concerning is the lack of educational opportunities for young people. Many families face the heartbreaking decision of sending their teenagers away for proper schooling, splitting families apart. And if you're wondering about health care, the nearest specialist services are hours away, making routine medical care a major logistical challenge. Number 9, Lightning Ridge. Now, you might think a town famous for opals would be a hidden gem, but Lightning Ridge presents unique challenges that make daily life surprisingly difficult. The town operates on what locals call ridge time, where everything moves at its own pace, which sounds charming until you need urgent services. The population fluctuates wildly between 1,500 and 3,000 depending on mining activity, creating an unstable community foundation that affects everything from school enrollment to local business sustainability. Here's something most people don't realize. The underground mining activity has created a landscape riddled with unmarked shafts and unstable ground. Walking your dog at night isn't just inadvisable, it's genuinely dangerous. The town has no street lighting in many areas, and the dirt roads become impassable mud traps when it rains. The water situation is particularly challenging. Most residents rely on bore water that's often high in minerals, giving it an unpleasant taste and potentially causing health issues over time. The nearest hospital is over an hour away in Walgett, and even basic medical services are limited to a small clinic with irregular hours. Employment opportunities are almost exclusively tied to opal mining, which means your livelihood depends on luck as much as hard work. The boom and bust cycle creates periods of prosperity followed by economic hardship that can last for years. Many residents live in substandard housing, including converted shipping containers and makeshift dwellings that wouldn't meet building codes anywhere else. The extreme weather adds another layer of difficulty. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 45 degrees Celsius, and the red dust gets into everything: your house, your car, your lungs. Air conditioning isn't a luxury here, it's essential for survival, driving up electricity costs that many residents struggle to afford. Number 8. Wilcannia presents one of the most heartbreaking stories in rural Sao Paulo, where potential meets persistent challenges in ways that affect every aspect of daily life. Once a thriving riverport town, Wilcannia now struggles with some of the highest unemployment rates in the state, often exceeding 70%. This isn't just a statistic. It represents families struggling to put food on the table and young people with no local opportunities to build their futures. The town's relationship with the Darling River, once its lifeblood, has become complicated by environmental issues. Water quality problems have made the river unsafe for swimming or fishing, activities that were once central to community life. The recent fish kills and ongoing drought have devastated not just the ecosystem, but the spirit of a community that has always depended on the river. Here's what makes living here particularly challenging. The nearest major shopping center is over 200 kilometers away in Broken Hill. That means planning every purchase carefully because a forgotten item could mean a 4-hour round trip. Fresh produce is expensive and often limited, making healthy eating a luxury many families can't afford. The social challenges are equally significant. With limited recreational facilities and few employment opportunities, social problems have escalated. The crime rate is higher than the state average, and many residents feel unsafe, particularly at night. Young people often feel trapped, seeing their friends leave for better opportunities while they remain behind due to family obligations or lack of resources. Education presents another major hurdle. The local school struggles with attendance issues and limited resources. Many parents face the impossible choice between keeping their children close to family and culture or sending them away for better educational opportunities. This brain drain perpetuates the cycle of limited opportunities and economic decline. Healthcare access is critically limited. The small hospital has reduced services, and residents often wait months for specialist appointments in larger cities. Emergency situations can be life-threatening due to the distance to advanced medical facilities. Number 7. Khobar. Khobar might surprise you on this list, especially considering its mining wealth, but the reality of living here reveals challenges that money can't always solve. The town's economy is almost entirely dependent on mining, which creates a dangerous boom and bust cycle. When copper prices are high and mines are operating at full capacity, the town thrives. But when commodity prices drop or mines scale back operations, the economic impact is devastating and immediate. Here's the catch that most people don't see coming. Housing costs in Khobar can rival those in Sydney during boom periods. Mine workers with high salaries drive up rental prices, making it nearly impossible for families on average incomes to find affordable housing. A basic 3-bedroom house can rent for $500, $600 per week, which is extraordinary for a town of just 4,000 people. The isolation factor is particularly challenging for families. The nearest major city is over 700 kilometers away, making weekend getaways or family visits expensive and time-consuming endeavors. Children growing up here often feel disconnected from broader cultural experiences and opportunities available in larger centers. Work-life balance becomes complicated when the mining industry dominates everything. The town's social calendar revolves around shift patterns, and the fly-in, fly-out workforce creates a transient population that makes it difficult to build lasting community connections. Local businesses struggle because their customer base is constantly changing. The infrastructure strain during boom periods is intense. Power outages become more frequent, water pressure drops, and the roads deteriorate rapidly under increased traffic from mining vehicles. The town's services, designed for a smaller population, become overwhelmed, leading to longer wait times for everything from banking to medical appointments. Environmental concerns also affect quality of life. Dust from mining operations can be problematic, and noise from 24-hour operations impacts sleep patterns for residents living near industrial areas. The pristine outback landscape that attracted many residents initially becomes dominated by industrial activity. Number 6. Burke's location at the gateway to the outback comes with isolation challenges that affect every aspect of daily life in ways most people never anticipate. The phrase "back of Burke" exists for a reason. This town sits at the edge of nowhere, 800 kilometers from Sydney. But it's not just the distance that creates problems. It's how that isolation compounds every other challenge you might face. Medical emergencies here are genuinely frightening. The local hospital has limited services, and serious cases require evacuation to Dubbo or Sydney. That evacuation can take hours to arrange and execute, turning treatable conditions into life-threatening situations. Pregnant women often have to leave town weeks before their due date, separating them from family support during a crucial time. The educational limitations are heartbreaking for families with ambitious children. While the local schools do their best, the range of subjects, extracurricular activities, and career guidance available in larger centers simply doesn't exist. Many talented students find themselves academically limited not by ability, but by geography. Employment opportunities are scarce and often seasonal. The cotton industry provides some work, but it's cyclical and weather-dependent. Government jobs offer stability but are limited in number. Many skilled professionals find themselves underemployed or forced to leave for career advancement. The social isolation affects mental health in ways that urban dwellers rarely consider. When your nearest neighbor might be kilometers away and your closest friend lives in another town, loneliness becomes a real health issue. The suicide rate in rural areas like Burke is significantly higher than urban areas, and access to mental health services is extremely limited. Shopping requires military-level planning. The local stores stock basics, but anything specialized requires a trip to Dubbo, a 400-kilometer round journey. Online shopping helps, but delivery times are extended and costs are higher. Fresh produce is expensive and often of poor quality by the time it reaches the shelves. The climate presents another layer of difficulty. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 45 degrees, and the town has experienced severe flooding that can cut it off from the outside world for weeks. These extreme weather events aren't just inconvenient, they can be life-threatening when combined with the town's isolation. Number 5. Menindee. Menindee's story is one of environmental disaster meeting economic decline, creating living conditions that challenge even the most resilient residents. The town became internationally infamous during the 2018 to 2019 fish kills in the Darling River, but the environmental problems run much deeper than those headline-grabbing events. The river system that once supported a thriving community has become unreliable and often polluted, affecting everything from drinking water quality to recreational activities. Here's what life actually looks like in Menindee. Many residents don't trust their tap water and rely on bottled water for drinking, adding significant costs to household budgets. The local swimming pool closed years ago due to maintenance costs, and the river is often too polluted or low for safe swimming, leaving residents with no local recreational water activities in a climate where temperatures regularly exceed 40 degrees. The economic situation is dire. With a population of barely 500 people, the town lacks the critical mass to support basic services. The local bank closed, meaning residents travel 100 kilometers to Broken Hill for banking services. The post office operates limited hours, and many businesses have shuttered permanently. Employment opportunities are virtually non-existent. The few remaining jobs are mostly part-time or casual positions in the pub, general store, or fuel station. Young people face a stark choice: stay and struggle with unemployment, or leave everything they know behind. Most choose to leave, creating an aging population that further reduces the town's viability. The infrastructure is crumbling. Roads have potholes that remain unfixed for years. Street lighting is sparse and unreliable, and mobile phone coverage is patchy at best. Internet connectivity is so poor that children struggle to complete homework assignments that require online research. Healthcare is practically non-existent. The nearest doctor is in Broken Hill, 100 kilometers away. For residents without reliable transportation, a simple medical issue can become a major crisis. Emergency services response times are extended due to the distance, making accidents or health emergencies particularly dangerous. The psychological impact of living in a dying town affects everyone differently, but the stress is constant. Property values have plummeted, trapping residents who can't afford to move but can't sell their homes either. The sense of community that once held the town together is strained as neighbors leave and aren't replaced. Number 4. White Cliffs. White Cliffs presents unique challenges that make it one of the most difficult places to live in New South Wales. despite its fascinating underground community and opal mining heritage. Imagine living in a town where most residents live underground, not by choice for adventure, but out of necessity due to extreme surface temperatures that can reach 50 degrees Celsius in summer. While this underground lifestyle might sound cool, the reality involves constant humidity, limited natural light, and ventilation challenges that affect both physical and mental health. The population hovers around just 200 people, making it smaller than most city apartment buildings. This tiny population means that every service closure or business failure has an enormous impact. When the local store closes for holidays or the owner gets sick, residents might face a 100-kilometer trip to Wilcannia for basic supplies. Here's what makes daily life particularly challenging. Water is trucked in and stored in tanks, making conservation a constant concern. Running out of water isn't just inconvenient, it can be dangerous in the extreme heat. Electricity costs are enormous due to the need for constant cooling and ventilation in underground dwellings. Communication with the outside world is severely limited. Mobile phone coverage is poor, and internet connectivity is unreliable at best. This isolation isn't just inconvenient, it can be life-threatening during emergencies when calling for help becomes impossible. The social isolation is intense. With such a small population spread across underground homes, chance encounters with neighbors are rare. Children grow up with very few peers, affecting their social development and educational opportunities. The nearest school bus route is hours away, forcing families to make difficult decisions about their children's education. Medical emergencies are particularly frightening in White Cliffs. The nearest medical facility is hours away, and emergency services may not be familiar with the underground layout of the town. GPS systems often fail to locate specific underground addresses, potentially delaying critical emergency response. The economic situation is precarious. Opal mining provides some income, but it's unpredictable and requires significant upfront investment in equipment. Many residents live hand-to-mouth, hoping their next dig will yield enough opals to pay bills. There are no regular employment opportunities, making financial planning impossible. Number 3. Tibubura. Tibubura holds the dubious honor of being one of the most isolated settlements in Ni Salvador, where the challenges of extreme isolation meet harsh environmental conditions in ways that test human endurance. Located in the far northwest corner of the state, Tibubura is so remote that the nearest town of any size is Broken Hill, 330 kilometers away across some of the most unforgiving terrain in Australia. But it's not just the distance, it's the quality of that journey that makes life here so difficult. The roads leading to Tibubura are largely unsealed and can become impassable during rare but intense rainfall. When the roads close, which can happen several times a year, the town is completely cut off from the outside world. This means no deliveries, no mail, no medical evacuations, and no way to leave. Imagine being trapped in a town of 100 people with limited supplies and no way to get help. The climate is perhaps the most challenging aspect of life here. Summer temperatures regularly exceed 45 degrees and have been recorded above 50 degrees. The heat isn't just uncomfortable, it's genuinely dangerous. Air conditioning isn't a luxury. It's essential for survival, but the electricity costs are astronomical due to the remote location and limited infrastructure. Water is a constant concern. The town relies on bore water that's often brackish and requires treatment. During extended dry periods, water restrictions become severe, and residents must carefully ration their usage. Taking a long shower becomes a luxury that affects the entire community's water supply. The economic situation is dire. With no significant industry and limited tourism outside of cooler months, employment opportunities are almost non-existent. The few businesses that operate, a pub, a general store, and basic accommodation, provide only a handful of jobs. Most residents are retirees or people who have chosen isolation over economic opportunity. Healthcare access is practically non-existent. There's no resident doctor, nurse, or medical facility. Any medical issue beyond basic first aid requires evacuation to Broken Hill or beyond. During summer months, when temperatures make road travel dangerous, even minor medical issues can become life-threatening situations. The social isolation affects mental health significantly. With such a tiny population and limited activities, depression and anxiety are common issues. The nearest mental health services are hundreds of kilometers away, making treatment nearly impossible for those who need it most. Children face particular challenges. There's no local school, and distance education becomes complicated by poor internet connectivity and extreme isolation. Families with school-age children often face the heartbreaking choice of splitting up, with one parent and children moving to larger centers for education, while the other parent remains to maintain property or business interests. Number 2, Silverton. Silverton might look picturesque in movies, but the reality of living in this ghost town presents challenges that would test even the most determined pioneer spirit. With a permanent population of around 50 people, Silverton is more museum than functioning town. The famous Silverton Hotel might attract tourists, but for residents, the town's tourist attraction status creates more problems than benefits. Your quiet neighborhood becomes overrun with visitors during peak periods, destroying any sense of privacy or peace. The isolation here is profound. Located 25 kilometers from Broken Hill down a dusty, unsealed road, residents face a daily journey through heat, dust, and potentially death.